A very good morning from Montreal, Canada. It is 40 minutes past midnight. It is quite an unusual day for me because I know my roots a bit better now. I come from a Sufi family, and my family history tells me that my forefathers came to the Indian subcontinent from Middle Asia about 200 years ago, where Kazakh people, Azeri people, or people from Azerbaijan, Armenia, from around that region, came to the present-day Indian subcontinent to preach Christianity and Islam. My forefathers, they preached Islam, as my family history tells me, in Indian eastern side of India and present-day Bengal. I know a bit of history about my grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. I know the history was handed down to me by word of mouth from my about a dozen forefathers before me. But my great-grandfather and my grandfather left written records of our family history. So my father used to tell me that my forefathers migrated from Kazakhstan mainly to preach Islam to in the Indian subcontinent. Those of you who are following me for over a decade now would say that my way of thinking is not 100% like the people from that part of the world. And I always felt myself to be socially a misfit there. I lived some part of my life in the US, but Europe always beckoned me, and I found myself to be more at home in Europe. I was going to say some parts of the countryside of various countries of Europe, and I would feel more at home. For example, I would like the culture there. I would like sitting by the fireplace, and would like to have tea in the traditional English cups, and I would feel sort of longing there. And I always loved the culture, the tradition, the history, and everything European. But I didn't know how much of European was in me. So my analytical mind, my way of thinking, my way of criticizing religion, my way of seeing things, everything, I always found to be more at home when I was speaking to my European friends. This sort of upbringing was in my blood, but I also felt a sort of longing for my Sufi forefathers, how they loved music, poetry, etc. Over and over again, I tried to feel at home with the religion of Islam. I was practicing Islam from the perspectives of, viewing it from hadiths, Quran, ijma, qiyas, and all. But on the other hand, something was telling me that something was not right about it. So eventually, after preaching it for many years, I just left it. Then I tried to follow it from Quranic perspective only. I also didn't feel at home there either. So I gave it up recently as well. So nevertheless, I was telling my friends that I was suffering so much inside that my facial, appearance, my skin color, everything tells me that I am an Asian man. I'm of South Asian origin. I'm Bengali ethnicity. But deep down, I was being told that I was from somewhere else. And my dad's words that I came from Middle Asia and all that was always, trying to tell me something. So I had to have this done. I had the DNA ancestry test done by one of the leading institutions to do that, labs to do that. That was Alpha Bio Lab. So I had the test done, and I will give you the results, what they said, and you will tell me that what does it tell you even about me. Here you are. I will share the screen. Here you go. It says, that's mine from the Alpha Bio Labs. It says, I'm 46% European. I'm 44% East Asian. And I am 10% Sub-Saharan African, that is, and 0% indigenous American. So basically, I'm more European than anything else. So do not really judge anyone by the skin color, I would say. For example, I was a bit shocked that 46%. My goodness, I was expecting like maybe 10%, 20% at the most. But 46% that I'm more European than anything else. That's quite a lot. But it somehow tells me that DNA carries, as many scientists will tell you, that it carries message in it. So my DNA was carrying message that and now I'm convinced why I felt always more at home in Europe. The way of thinking and everything. So it is quite an emotional day for me. So I when I will be seeing Western people, white people more, I have to tell myself every time that my forefathers came from this part of the world, and many of my family members are Europeans, white people. That reminded me about Barack Obama. Barack Obama appears to be a black man, but because of his father's side, but his mother's side they're totally white. So Barack Obama has white family in him, but many of the white people, maybe they don't have probably as much as European blood as I do. God, 46%. Goodness, I was expecting, but at the same time, I'm surprised because of the percentage, 46%. Wow. So that tells you, don't judge a man by the appearance. Probably out there, many white people are more European than you will ever be, probably. But who cares whether I'm European or Asian or whatever my skin color might be? But at the same time, it's good to know the history, because even if you're a Muslim, you would have to say that the skin color tells you where you belong to, but in fact, that's not true. The Quran says the skin color will tell you where you come from. But science is proving that to be, to some extent, wrong in my case. Because I had more European blood in me, although I don't appear to be European. That's another way to prove Quran wrong. Thank you for listening.